If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Is yours just like
Just to clap
synchronicity?
really well.
What?
Is yours synchronicity? Like
Synchronicity. Yeah.
everything has to be like perfect in sync.
No. Mine would be the ability to make any audio system play any song that I wanted, or like audio clip. Or
So you're talking
sound
about like
or whatever.
Actually, yeah,
alternate
that'd be pretty
superhero powers, like
Huh?
not like. Are you talking about like alternate powers? So not like superhero powers where it's like, can you fly? But like
Yeah,
alternate powers.
like a real world superpower almost.
Ooh.
Oh, well,
Like something
mine-
useful.
I know
Yeah.
mine.
Because I was at work the other day. I'll let you continue in a second. But I was at work the other day, and one of my coworkers was having difficulty with a machine. Like it wasn't performing a function. And I came over and just like tapped a couple buttons and then hit the button she wanted to use, and it just like it just worked. She was like, "Why?" I was like, "I'm a sorcerer."
Yeah.
and
Magic.
I wish that I had been able to make the radio play The Touch by Stan Bush
Oh
like, at that
yeah.
moment. Just like, how perfect would that be? Like
Yeah.
having
Oh,
the
yeah.
ability to do that. That'd be
Oh, yeah.
so
I
good.
think mine would just be like, it's kind of still not like fantastic, but just always having the right amount of money like in your pocket. Like if something like you need the change or whatever.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Just always having the right amount of change. Being like,
that'd be amazing.
yeah.
You could just top of the market, but
I mean, yeah, exactly. I could walk into Gucci and be like, oh,
Then
$3
again,
grand, here we
mine
go.
could
But
also do it. It depends on how you use it.
yeah.
Because mine would be the ability to materialize or manipulate any organic or inorganic material at the atomic level.
Okay,
Wait,
we're
that was-
getting into some like Scarlet Witch territory.
Yeah, that was a lot. Wait, what do you mean?
superpowers.
Like,
So pretty much, like if you know the composition of something,
yeah.
or you know how to like what it's made
Are you
of,
talking
or
about
whatever.
Momo from My Hero? How she can like materialize objects?
Sort of, yeah. Except I'd also be able to manipulate stuff. So if I saw something like that dresser, I could just
Yeah.
like fucking obliterate it.
Okay.
Turn to dust, reduce the atoms.
I would also very much like to have the ability to just like hold up my hand like this,
Yeah.
like I'm doing a pledge, and just have any image that I want display there.
That'd be pretty sick.
Like, if I could communicate entirely in memes,
yeah. Oh my gosh, bro.
Yeah.
That'd be so
Like,
cool.
Yeah.
You have
I-
like text to speech in your hand.
just like
There's
like
a new
Wi-
meaning of
Wile E.
talk to the
Coyote kind of. Just like someone does something incredibly stupid, Jackie Chan meme. Yeah?
Oh my god, that would actually be great. Oh, I'd love that.
Oh yeah.
That's actually
Yes.
fantastic.
Oh, alright, this freaking lawnmower stops soon.
Hopefully it doesn't pick up on the mic, but it probably will. So
It should be
It
right.
won't pick up that much. If it does, it'll be on my microphone.
Yeah.
You guys' ones probably won't pick it up as much.
Yeah, we should be okay.
The sock should help.
the sock.
The sock.
The sock.
The
Jeez.
almighty sock.
All right. Welcome to Zero Function, the podcast about weird stuff where the three of us try desperately to share custody of a single brain cell. I am your host for this week, Lee. I'm here with my co-hosts, Jen. I am Genevieve on YouTube.
Hello.
And Conall, RigMonkey0 on Twitch. And I am losing my mind about a Mel Gibson movie.
And I'm just
Okay.
focused on the 10-cent piece that's right under your foot.
That's been there for weeks.
Really?
Yeah. And he hasn't picked it up.
Listen, no, okay. There was so much money scattered around my room, and I picked them all up. I missed that one, okay? Leave me alone.
Good job. Okay, but like, it is, what is it? It's February 2021.
Yeah.
And I just discovered this Mel Gibson movie that came out last year. Okay.
He did a movie last year? Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Was it?
No, I was like, he did a movie last year?
Yeah. Okay. It's fucking bonkers. It's a dark comedy action film about Santa Claus.
Oh.
Where Mel Gibson plays Santa, except his name is Kris Kringle, and he runs a workshop in Alaska. But because so many kids are just pieces of shit these days, he's losing business. Like, he's not making enough toys.
No.
So he accepts a contract from the US military to produce vehicle and weapon parts.
It's called Fat Man.
Yeah, it is.
What the fuck?
And at the same time, a kid who he gave coal to because he was a piece of shit has hired a hitman to kill Santa. Yeah, it's called Fat Man. It came out in 2020. It stars Mel Gibson and Walton Goggins. I've not seen it, but it sounds insane.
That
Just
is
even just
quite
looking
the
at like the
synopsis.
clips, it looks like a serious movie, but like
Yeah.
serious
I mean,
Santa.
supposedly it's a comedy, but
It sounds like a fucking comedy.
how many producers did that have to go through to get greenlit?
Oh my gosh, that's me with so many movies.
Oh.
I'm just like, it went through like producers, it went through the writing teams, the
God, yeah.
actors, the everyone, and it still got produced.
It's like, how did this happen?
Oh,
How
I
did
don't-
we
I
get
don't-
here?
I don't know. I've been losing my mind over it for the last couple of days. It's
Well, you gotta go watch it.
yeah.
Give us
yeah,
a
I think I
review.
do. Oh
Yeah.
god, do I have to? Oh, all right,
Yes.
fine. I'll watch Fat Man.
Very good.
Oh, you've twisted my arm. I'll watch.
I don't really want to.
No.
'cause
It's one
it
of those
doesn't-
films where you're like, I want to know what happens, but like, I'm pretty much gonna waste 2.5 hours. Of my
Yeah,
life.
look, I was happy with the Wikipedia summary. You know, like
Oh, yeah.
that's all I needed.
You just need one of those everything wrong with Fat Man in 5 minutes or less.
Oh, God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So
What is today's episode on?
right. So getting on track for the first time since the intro. This week's topic is a follow-on from my previous topic on aliens. Yeah. It's been a weird week for me, just
Yeah.
regarding work and stuff. So yeah, I had a bit of trouble like trying to choose what to do,
Mm.
but I eventually settled on this, and I thought there'd be more about it given how much it's in the public consciousness. But no, there's maybe like 9 good accounts of this phenomenon and nothing else.
Wow.
Fine. That is.
And
not
obviously some like real sketchy
Reddit,
blog
yeah.
pages and stuff.
Ah,
You know.
yeah. Unconfirmed like sources. And,
Yeah,
you know,
just people writing on their own website, like
Yeah.
you know.
yeah.
Good
Yeah,
old wiki fandoms.
yeah. So today we're going to be discussing the Men in Black.
Men in Black specifically.
Yeah.
Here come the men in black.
What a banger movie. Honestly.
Wait,
you were
first
going
of
to
all,
sing that, and I was going to look up the lyrics to the rap part, but I forgot. So.
yeah.
Great joke, me. Awesome.
Oh, have you guys seen the second one with like Chris Hemsworth and things like that?
Oh, the new one.
Yeah.
International.
I have not.
That would be
no.
the 4th film in the franchise, and
Ah,
no, because
jokes.
apparently it's trash.
Yeah, I feel like it's
I
gonna be
haven't
like
heard anything on it.
Ghostbusters, the
Du-du-du-du.
female one,
Yeah.
which I also haven't actually
Wait.
seen. I've seen clips.
Wait,
of
did
it.
you say the second one?
No, I
they-
mean, yeah, the remake is what I meant.
The female one.
Yeah.
The female cast one.
Wait. You said the second
Yeah, I know.
Men in Black with Chris Hemsworth. Is that
Yeah,
is there a sequel? Are they making a sequel?
No, I
No?
just
Okay,
I just
alright.
meant
Got
like the
confused.
second.
Okay, all right. It's
Like,
just miscommunication. You threw my entire like worldview
Yeah.
for a loop. For a
I mean,
second.
like the like the remakes of the
yes.
yeah.
Yes,
That's
yes,
yeah.
yes. I mean, technically it's
We're
not a
on the
remake.
right.
It's a follow-on from the.
I
Previous
mean, yeah,
series,
but
the
They should have
the first
stopped.
film. The first film was a masterpiece. The
Yeah.
second one is trash. The third one is pretty good.
yeah.
I don't remember the second one, so.
You should because we watched it like every day for a month.
Is it the one
'cause
with
Kellen was
the
obsessed with it?
small spaceship?
Was
Or is it
it?
the first one?
No, that's the first one with Vincent D'Onofrio playing
Yeah.
the bug. Sugar.
What,
And
the
water.
tiny spaceship that lands on Earth. Is it?
Tiny space. I mean, it crashes.
It crashes?
Crashes at a farmhouse, and then he steals the dude's skin, and then
Okay.
asks for
Ah.
sugar water.
sure.
No, the second one's with Serlina, that tentacle monster,
No, that was the one I was thinking.
and
of.
it's got Johnny
I
Knoxville.
got confused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah, that definitely was the one we watched a lot. That is
Yeah.
just in the
Yeah.
back of my mind.
The
Doesn't she
light
get into the
of
facility
Zartha.
or whatever?
Huh?
She gets into the facility. That's like in my head for some reason and like suffocates everybody. I don't
Wait, so
know.
is the Men in
Oh,
Black
yeah, yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to be like a real phenomenon?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay,
I did not know that.
So the film, the first film and the franchise, I guess, is based on a graphic novel series,
Yeah.
and that came to be because of the author. He was driving with a friend one day, and I think his friend noticed I don't remember names. Sorry.
Yeah.
His friend noticed I think it was a black van that seemed to be following them,
Yeah.
and then mentioned this. And the author had never heard of the Men in Black before, so he told him about this, this phenomenon of men in black suits with black classic cars, and they
Yeah.
follow people around and do government stuff, and that was the gestation of the idea for Men in Black, the comic, which became the films.
So I kind of knew as a thing, just like the people in suits, the guys in suits.
Yes, the Men in Black is a thing, and it is like explicitly tied to UFO culture.
Right.
Yeah, so the main gist of it is that, I mean, they're exactly what they sound like. They are men who dress in black clothing, most often suits, and they identify themselves as being government employees.
Government agents.
Yep. Sometimes they'll identify as FBI or CIA, but sometimes they just won't. And it's up in the air as to who they work for, whether it is the FBI or CIA or some other agency that we don't know of, like Majestic 12 or something.
Yeah.
Hey?
I mean, even if it's a different department, though.
I think they'd have a whole different agency for that, I would think.
Well, I mean, it's possible that the government has divisions within existing government organizations, like the X-Files.
It's possible.
Yeah. Because they Mulder and Scully did work for the FBI. They did? What? Yes.
I feel like, I feel like it would
was
be
it?
harder to keep information hidden if it was within an agency that's got a lot of public information. So just make a whole one.
Yeah,
Just, like,
no,
keep
you're right.
everything off the record.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So the Men in Black most often appear in the aftermath of UFO encounters.
Yeah.
So, like, someone sees a UFO or a purported alien being, and
Wanker.
that
Lawnmower starts up again.
Yes, that is a lawnmower right next door. We're just gonna push on through and hope it doesn't pick up.
I don't know if they'll come down the side passage, but that would fucking suck.
Just a little bit. I mean, we can shut that window. It'll get real hot in here, but
It's
It won't
already
make-
so
It won't
warm.
make a difference,
Yes,
honestly.
we will
It will still
work
be very
through.
loud.
yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. So
He's coming down the side passage.
here it comes.
Oh god.
Oh,
No,
it's moving away.
getting quieter.
I know this makes for scintillating content.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. They might not be able to hear it. It's just us.
Yeah.
just
Could you
pausing.
imagine? They can't
Okay.
hear anything. We're like, there it goes. Oh.
Yep. Okay, so yeah, the Men in Black. Jesus! It's like every time I try to move the
Go,
narrative
Go.
forward.
He's doing the past play. He's gonna come back soon.
Yes.
He's gonna...
Okay. So yeah, in the aftermath of a purported UFO encounter, the Men in Black will show up to discourage people from looking into it further.
Yeah.
And that's something that's pretty much consistent over all of these accounts. From what I can find, I think it's generally agreed that there's only been about 40 reported cases of the Men in Black,
40.
visiting people.
That's a fair
Um,
few.
Yeah, and there's only like 9 or 10 like really good accounts that people have
Right,
actually
yeah.
come forward with.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wait, but don't they have the little clicky pen to like erase people's memories?
I mean, in
and-
the
That's
in
that-
the
that's
movie.
Yeah,
that's a fictional thing.
yeah, I know, but like, if that
I
was,
mean, I don't. It's possible.
that's the thing. If that was a thing, they're doing a really shoddy job with how many UFO encounters are like actually still
Yeah.
accounted.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just some intern that forgets to like
Well-
wipe their memory, and they're like, "Sorry, I'm new."
we'll get into my personal thoughts later on, but we'll go through some of the more prominent Men in Black encounters. So one of the earliest ones was in the early 50s, and it concerns a.
Honestly, so much shit happened in the 50s.
Oh yeah. And that ties into my personal belief as well.
50s
So
and,
Yeah.
50s and 60s.
we'll get
People like,
yeah, I mean, it was it was even going back as far as the mid 40s.
Yeah.
Because we get Roswell in 47, I believe.
Mm.
I believe that's when that was.
that's why boomers are so batshit crazy sometimes.
They're just like, we lived through shit, man. Like,
Weird.
Okay, yeah. So this was a man named Albert K. Bender. All right, and he he lived in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and this comes from the Bridgeport Library website. This account, so I guess it's mostly
If they bother
reputable.
if they bother to file it, then I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's possible. It's just like a local culture thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, he was born. He was born in 1921. Served in the Air Force during World War II as a dental technician. So he was stateside. He didn't actually see
Right.
combat.
Yeah.
He later returned to Bridgeport and worked at the Acme Share Company, which at the time was the world's largest manufacturer of scissors. And yeah,
Very specific.
I don't know, it's just a little background information to establish who this guy is.
Yeah.
And he worked there as the chief timekeeper. So
Chief Timekeeper.
yeah, so I guess
What
obviously
does he
that's not a thing that we have these days, but
Yeah.
I guess he would have been responsible for clock maintenance and
So he's like-
making sure that everything was like synced up and on
guess.
time and all that.
Maybe
Oh, I
just-
was like,
I
so
don't
he's
know.
a glorified PA, making sure everyone leaves on time.
Yeah, maybe managing shifts. I
Yeah.
don't know.
No, I think he was just responsible for servicing the clocks.
Yes, clocks.
I don't know. I mean, I could look it up if you want, but it's not really important to the
No.
story.
Wait, didn't you say he was a dental?
He worked as a dental technician within the Air Force.
That's quite the downgrade.
Yeah.
I would say.
A little bit. I mean, it's not wartime anymore.
That's true, but he still could have gone on to do dental stuff, but I guess not.
Timekeepers maintain an accurate track of hours worked for payroll purposes.
Ah, right.
Mm.
Okay, so it's not to do with clocks.
Not to do with clocks.
There we go.
An
Okay.
actual.
They typically are hired as acting
Interesting job.
liaisons between employee and payroll coordinates to ensure the smooth process of pay distribution. Calculating an employee's time worked, production, and commissions are the duties of the timekeeper.
Okay, so he was the payroll guy.
Right.
Okay, right.
Quite the
Um,
downgrade.
Okay, but see, why I assumed the connection to clocks was the fact that he lived in an attic room of this house. I
Yeah.
believe it was his stepfather's house.
Yeah.
And his room was full of, amongst other things, he had around 20 clocks
Wow.
in the room. A collection of shrunken heads and fake skulls and like weird artwork that he had done himself.
I'm starting to doubt that this account is
Well, so I'm priming you for the type of person that this guy is. And like when you would have visitors, he would play records with sounds of like thunder and people crying and yeah,
ASMR.
yeah. So he was quirky. He was a quirky
Quirky.
guy.
Quirky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
putting it nicely.
Yeah. So obviously during the late 40s, there was there was a rash of flying saucer sightings.
Yeah.
Following on from the time of the Roswell incident.
Yeah. What year was the Roswell? I always forget.
47, I believe.
Right. Yeah, because I knew it was in
Um,
the 40s. But
Yeah, let me double check because I
Or at least
I
I
never get
think
this
it's in the
right for some
40s.
reason.
it sounds right that it's in the 40s.
Yeah, because Google searching 1947 is going to do it. God damn.
Roswell.
Roswell. Yeah, July
Roswell.
1947.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, rash of sightings in the late 40s. So Bender was already, interested in this kind of stuff, and in 1952 he formed the International Flying Saucer Bureau, which
Okay.
was an international group of around 600 people. And the
Right.
headquarters was in his house, and yeah, they did exactly what you would
So-
think. They collected reports of UFO sightings.
So we're already
And
starting
And this was
off
in a
with
international group.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, about
Wow.
600 people.
Sorry, what
so
were you saying?
we're already starting off with a bias towards this case, which
Well,
is not good for the credibility of it.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, let's
Legitimacy.
get into the weird stuff. So they published a newsletter called Space Review, right?
Space Review.
Which obviously, would expound upon the latest UFO sightings and developments within the UFO community. And not long after forming the bureau, the IFSB, as it was referred to, Bender started getting sick. He started feeling ill constantly. He would receive strange phone calls and telepathic messages.
Alrighty.
He often felt that he was being watched.
Not for the fact that he had a bunch of heads and things in his room.
I'm not sure it was related to that because he'd had those for some time before this.
Yeah.
He once apparently saw a man with glowing eyes watching him in public.
Glowing eyes. Okay.
He was shadowed on the street several times, and he reported a smell of burning sulfur filling his home, specifically
Lives
his
in Rotorua.
attic room. Hey?
Said lives in Rotorua.
Connecticut?
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Mm.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what Connecticut's known for.
Like,
I'll be honest.
known for a haunting.
Yeah.
I
I'll look
guess.
at what Connecticut's known for.
Yes, the haunting in Connecticut. Yes, that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
a Warren file, eh?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And again, we lost that episode.
Oh,
Keep forgetting
yeah.
that. Yes, Ed and Lorraine Warren, paranormal investigators. The haunting in Connecticut was one of
We'll
their
have to
case
come back
files.
to their
What is
lifestyle.
known for-
Absolutely,
What?
Connecticut.
Oh, shut. What is it telling me?
Connecticut. Okay, if you're going to
first
sidetrack the
lollipop.
episode, make sure it's a good way to
Speed limit.
sidetrack.
Yeah.
The first automobile law, the Polaroid camp, the first hamburger. Now that's something.
Yes, it was. it
Hell
was a
yeah.
German immigrant, I believe.
Color television as well.
So, wow.
Yeah, Polaroid camera, first hamburger, helicopter, and color television.
Yes. Well, the
That's quite good.
side tangent, side story. The hamburger has nothing to do with ham. Obviously, it's ground beef. It was named that because the guy who invented it was, I believe, a German immigrant, and he named it after his hometown of Hamburg.
Oh.
It was originally called a hamburger sandwich because the man himself was a hamburger. He was
Yeah.
he was someone from Hamburg.
Right.
So yeah, he invented this sandwich which he called
You
a
know,
hamburger
I've
sandwich.
always wondered that. I was like, why do they call it that? Because
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah,
Ah.
it's fascinating.
It's also
Shit.
called the land of steady habits, whatever that means.
Steady
Ominous.
habits. Wow.
Just mildly.
Or, more importantly, the Constitution state. But,
The
we don't care
land
about
of
that.
steady habits.
We
So
care
what?
about the
Everyone there
labels.
just has really solid routines.
I mean,
Oh, God.
I can think of worse places.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, so the IFSB in 1953, they organised an attempt, like between all their members around the world, to telepathically communicate with interplanetary craft.
Okay.
And if
I'll
you
bite,
if you've
yeah.
ever heard the oh gosh, was it the Carpenters? The Carpenters song, calling occupants of interplanetary craft. That song.
Fair idea. Yeah.
That was taken from the message that they tried to send out.
Okay. Interesting.
So it was May 1953, I believe, and they at this set time on a set day, they would all I think it was March 15th. No, I said May. No, March 15th is a different thing. Sorry, it was May 1953, and they sent out a message. Do I have it? Do I have it here?
They're all just sitting around the world just with their fingers on their heads, just like, ah!
Yeah, here it is. They all focused on sending this message out to any
The cosmos.
flying saucers that happened to be flying
Vibing.
by, and it said, here it was, calling occupants of interplanetary craft that have been observing our planet Earth. We of ISFB wish to make contact with you. We are your friends. And yes, Earth was fully capitalized.
Ah.
Why? Interesting.
I don't know. I just in this article.
I
It
don't
was.
know why people think they're yeah, planet Earth, and it's if an alien comes, they're gonna have some sort of different categorization or title for our planet.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be called Earth.
Probably, yeah.
They'd call it something different, but
I mean,
you
yeah,
wouldn't
the
be able to
chances.
you wouldn't be able to comprehend what it is.
Yeah, the chances of them being like, yeah, this looks like Earth.
It's like learning another goddamn language.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do
People's
they
something.
call it in Warhammer? Like Holy Terror or something?
Oh, something like
Yeah.
that.
Terror is often
Yeah.
the in pop culture is the name for it. But again,
'Cause
that
it
comes from
sounds cooler.
our
We could be
languages.
like,
So,
wingdings on Microsoft Word.
Yes.
yes,
Yeah, this is
aliens
all
speak
this.
in wingdings.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Right. Yeah, so we don't know if this was successful, this attempt, but he, what's his name, Bender, he later announced that the July issue of their newsletter would contain a startling revelation.
A Jeez.
I
in
forgot
house.
newsletters were a thing because I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
how are they communicating with each other? Like cell phones don't exist, and it's like,
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
newsletter they sent out.
yeah,
Probably printed and published it themselves.
yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, you can't really, run down to the library and photocopy it. you know? Yeah, so not long after this, he was visited by 3 men in black. And that's something that we see
Alright.
through a lot of accounts of men in black encounters, is they most often appear in groups of 3.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or
Interesting.
on their own. Sometimes in pairs, but mostly in 3s.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and they were dressed like clergymen, so like, religious folk. Not in like cassocks or anything, but those,
Robes.
no, it's like a suit jacket,
Yeah.
but the collar goes
Oh.
all the way up to the neck.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
it doesn't have the V
Yeah.
front.
And then they've got
It's
the
like-
white thing.
Yeah, it's like the Japanese style collar almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm assuming without the white collar.
Right.
Yeah, and they were wearing Homburg style hats, which is kind of like imagine a fedora but with a narrower brim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I
All
kinda
black.
got that, Yeah.
yeah, kind of like a cross between a fedora and a bowler.
They were really just the Spanish Inquisition.
Well, I mean, nobody expects them, so.
Of course. Oh god.
/ unexpected Monty Python.
Yes.
And apparently these guys communicated with him telepathically and told him to stop publishing the newsletter and to drop all UFO research.
Wow.
Yeah, and they also, I think, searched his house and confiscated copies of the newsletter. Yeah. Bender, after this, was apparently scared to death, in his own words, and he was unable to eat for several days. Yeah. The
Confirm that in any way though, but
I don't. I mean, I'm guessing.
maybe he's just schizophrenic.
I'm guessing he just had people, checking in on him.
Who fucking
But yeah, the final issue
Was
of the
scared to eat. I don't know. I've been.
no, he was scared to death and unable to eat for several days. I don't know if
Yeah,
it was like
That sounds about right.
psychological or physiological or whatever, but yeah, that's what happened to him. And the final issue of the newsletter came out October of that year, and the July issue was never published. So I guess they did their job.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these guys, like this particular group of men in black, they, there wasn't really anything weird about them. That
Fine.
They kind of just showed up and was like, "Yo, you
Shut
cut
up.
that out."
yeah,
Yeah.
they just look like regular folk, aside from the fact that they communicated telepathically,
Yeah.
which is not a commonality within accounts.
Or is it just that he was like super tired and like couldn't really see them and didn't see the mouth move?
So this guy,
possible.
telepathy comes up a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once again, bias.
Yeah, so Albert Bender, probably
Maybe-
not the most reliable
Maybe
source.
some like schizophrenic.
Realistically, it was just
like
his-
paranoia.
Yeah, realistically, it's just like his dad and his uncle and like someone else being like, "Yo, like, you should probably cut this out." But it's just really dark, so you couldn't see the
probably,
mouths.
Go
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
job, eh?
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like, "Oh my
dear.
god, these guys, they came to me. It's a revelation."
Actually, was he working through that whole time? Still?
Doubt.
He must have been.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
I assume so.
Sounds like one kind of person who just wouldn't work and just
Yeah.
live in the attic.
Yeah. So, going back a few years to 1947, this is the Maury Island incident.
Maury
This
Island.
occurred on June 21st.
What the hell is Maury Island?
It's a, let's see,
Island.
it's a
Thank you for that revelation.
island. It's an island in Puget Sound in Washington State.
Washington State.
Yes.
I
So
always get confused because it's
northwest, like right
Oh,
on,
yeah, yeah,
right on the border
right,
with
top,
Canada.
Top left corner, yeah.
Yeah.
I get confused between DC and Washington. It's very confusing. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Washington D.C. is like
Isn't it like a city?
it's like
state
over on
kind
the
of thing?
eastern seaboard. It's like
Yeah.
about halfway down,
I don't
I
know why they did that. It seemed very dumb.
Yeah.
It's to do with election fairness because obviously the seat of
Yeah.
government is there, and
Yeah, doesn't DC have like different things where like votes don't count there or some shit?
no,
electorates aren't there?
everyone still votes. It's just not considered a state. Like I think they have their own senators, and maybe they don't. I don't know. They
America's
must do
dumb.
because there's people.
Yep.
But yes, the city of Washington D.C. is like technically not within the contiguous United States
Right.
because it's yeah, it's not a state; it's just a city. But yeah, it's something to do with the fact that the seat of government is there, and it's like weird
Government.
constitutional stuff. I don't know. America's weird.
Anyway,
America.
Washington.
Yeah. So the Maury Island incident was this. There was a man named. Sorry, I'm flicking between these articles. There was a man named Harold Dahl,
Harold Dahl.
and
Roald Dahl.
this incident has several conflicting accounts.
Okay.
So he was a salvage operator, and sometimes they say like he was a provisional salvage operator, but yeah.
Pretty much
In
same
any
thing.
case, he was out on a boat salvaging logs from the lake, and some accounts, well, all accounts say there was a dog with him, and some accounts say he was with a colleague, and others say it was his son. But
There was something there with him.
yeah, so
At
it was
least.
Harold Dahl, another man, and a dog
Okay.
out on a boat salvaging logs from a lake, and they saw.
The Loch Ness monster.
No, I wish. They saw 6 silver donut-shaped craft just appear in the sky, like
Okay.
a mile above them, I think. So roughly 1,600 meters. And so these must have been like, fairly big to be able to see at that altitude.
Yeah.
And apparently one of them dropped like super quickly and then stopped about 1,500 feet above the lake.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So it's about, 400, 500 meters.
Right.
And it dropped this white metal substance. Like it almost looked like scrap metal.
Okay.
And it dropped into the lake. And this is another place where the accounts differ. Some say that some of it fell on the boat and killed the dog and
no.
broke the arm of the man
Not
who was
the
with him,
dog.
Oh.
or his son. The man who was with him. Other accounts say that when the metal hit the water, it like combusted. Like I guess it exploded
Yeah.
somehow, and
Interesting.
again killed the dog and
Why did they have to kill the
badly
dog?
burnt the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess they just disappeared.
It's just like magnesium or something.
Yeah, I was about to say, doesn't
Phosphorus.
zinc and things like that like
Yeah, I don't
explode
know.
in contact with water?
Chemicals.
I don't know. This is weird. Yeah.
Why are they killing off the dog, man?
Realistically, it's just the government trying to get rid of some like nuclear waste, and it's like,
Yeah,
we'll just
right.
dump it in the lake.
In silver donut-shaped
Mm.
aircraft.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dunno.
Hey, the government's got
obviously.
so much access to stuff we don't know about.
Wow, we'll get to that. Yeah. So he obviously, talked about this. He
Yeah.
talked about what happened with his boss, I
He was
believe.
like, my dog's dead,
some
my
friends.
son's fine, but my dog.
Yeah. And several days later, he got a visit from
Men in
the Men in Black. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yes. And
He's so intimidating.
let's see. This time it was one of them. It was one man in black, and they, I think, went to a local diner, and the guy in black basically said, don't talk about this.
He went to the diner with the man.
Yes,
He just-
according
he
to
just
one
decided
account.
to?
According to one account. I
Interesting.
don't know. Again, this one has several accounts like that differ in the details. So there.
People were a lot more trusting back then, though. So.
Yeah. Someone knocks on your door and it's like, hey, let's go for a walk. They're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy basically recounted what had happened, which
Right.
he would have no way of knowing. Told him, stop talking about it. And according to an article from History.com, the man, which presumably quoted Dahl, the man told him, "What I have said is proof to you that I know a great deal more about this experience of yours than you will want to believe." So
Ah.
obviously, he knows something about what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he's like, just forget about it. Forget about it.
yes,
Forget about
and
it.
Dahl would later claim that it was a hoax.
Oh. Well,
Yes, I believe.
Yikes.
I
What about
believe
the dog.
Dahl and his boss, not long after that, he didn't immediately renounce it. He and his boss tried to sell the story to a magazine in
right.
Chicago.
yeah.
After that, they were visited by 2 Air Force agents, intelligence officers, obviously, and they went up to Washington and interviewed them and collected evidence and all that. And on the way home, their plane crashed.
Huh.
Yeah. So these 2 Air Force intelligence officers, they got the eyewitness accounts there, collected the evidence, got on the plane, died.
That is quite the coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
See, it sounded more like, I don't know, credible, because like these, people who would actually interview people.
Yeah.
In the case of this, when like the police or the army would do that, would interview people in these kinds of cases. We've seen in the past with like that New Zealand one we talked about.
Yeah.
And which is in our second episode or whatever. But yeah, so it makes it sound a bit more credible. But the fact that they died is like
But does that make it more or less credible? Because
See, I don't know.
more would be like, oh, whatever extraterrestrial men in black were like, no, we can't have this getting out. Bang, bang. Or less, it's like, oh, of course they died.
Yeah.
Yeah, so were the men in black... Excuse me.
Well, did they target the Air Force agents? Because they didn't want a story.
Were they involved in the plane crash?
Exactly.
We don't know.
So, does it make it more or less credible?
Yeah. Yeah, so the next one I have is a man named Paul Miller. And in November 1961, he and some friends were in the car. They were driving home. I don't know where they'd been. It doesn't really say. I think they'd been hunting. And they saw something land in a nearby field, which one of them described as a luminous silo.
Luminous silo.
Yeah. So they went to check it out. As you do.
Silos are huge, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Big silo.
Yeah, so could you imagine that, like, landing in a field?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's just what this craft looked like.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking massive.
Yeah.
They're the size of a silo, but like still big. Like a grain silo even is quite large.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this craft, I guess, the silo, it appeared to open up, and 2 humanoid figures came out. And I guess Miller panicked and aimed at them with his rifle and fired. Yeah. He reckons he injured one of them. But as they were on their way home, the 4 of them, they basically just lost 3 hours of time. Just like gone.
Okay.
Yeah. Which again is that's a pretty common thread between UFO experiences. You look at Betty and Barney Hill. They lost hours.
Could you imagine though, like first contact of aliens? Like, I know it's not the first, but just bear with me. First contact of aliens, they come down to Earth. They're like, you know what? This place doesn't look so bad. Bang! It's like...
Here's my guess. Is my theory of what happened. These guys, they were hunting, but they were hunting while drinking.
Oh,
and they've
yeah,
come
props.
back and they've just looked at this farm that's got a grain silo, and the farmers are coming out, and he's just shot at them, and then he's just like passed out.
Yeah,
they've just got like a flashlight or something with them.
Yeah, it's just like backlighting the silo. It's like,
I reckon that's what happened.
Bro, I mean, how many people used to carry like the hip flask with them and things like that, just like in their jacket pockets, and it's just like, I have a cheeky drink.
So, sorry, I was going to ask, when was the prohibition?
Prohibition was back in the 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's after Prohibition.
Yes.
Making sure. Yeah.
It's very far after Prohibition.
Yes.
So the next morning, when Miller went to work, 3 men in black were there. And
At his work or when he got up?
Yes.
Oh.
At his workplace, and they these ones claim to be government officials.
Yeah.
Don't know what branch, but they said basically they asked him questions about what happened. And their questions, contained information about the incident that they couldn't possibly have known unless they were there.
Yeah.
And they knew everything about Miller. His name, where he lived.
That's so intimidating. And if anyone ever came up to me and was like,
I reckon it's just
we know you. Like,
just some FBI and like, do you know about these 2 farmers that were shot at? Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, so not surprisingly, Miller shut up about it.
Yeah.
he didn't tell anyone for years what
Yeah.
happened.
That's fair.
I mean, yeah, fair enough. Like, nah. Especially, again, America. Like, here, you can kind of be like, wow, that was kind of weird. Like, what the hell?
it's kind of interesting.
Whereas America, it's just like, no, these people are after me, man.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so, I mean, that would freak me out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be, like, literally, if someone came up to me that I did not know and they were like, Genevieve, can you come with us, please? I'd be like,
Even just like
Yeah.
a normal cop come to here. And
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Yeah,
What the
especially
fuck?
Yeah.
after experiencing something like that, you know? Like, just,
oh, yeah.
well, especially when
Oh.
you've shot something. Whether you think it's a human or not, like, you shot at something and didn't investigate further. Actually, yeah, that's the thing. That you shot them and then just kind of, like, bolted?
I guess. I mean, again, they lost time, so...
Yeah.
I
But
don't
that's
know.
the thing. How did he remember what happened? Like, where were the 3 hours that they lost? Was it after?
I think,
the
it
incident?
was afterwards. Like, it was on the way home. Like,
Damn.
they just... They had blackouts and 3
Yeah.
hours of lost time.
They woke up and they were home like, what? Even the guy driving.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just woke up and they were home
Yeah.
like, okay, cool.
And it happens. It happens in these stories, yeah.
I mean, that happens in just, like, general day-to-day things. Like, when people go out drinking, they're like, I don't remember anything about last night. Must have been sick. And you're like, wait.
I can't remember ever being blackout drunk.
Oh, nah,
But-
never.
Nah,
Could never be
you,
me.
you really have to, like,
Yeah.
just going hard at it.
I mean, I have some mates who've done it, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got so many friends who were like, yeah, it was a sick night. And I was like, oh, yeah, what happened? They're like, I don't know, eh? And I'm like,
It
mm.
seems
I
very
mean,
difficult to get to that point.
Yeah.
I've forgotten bits and pieces before. You know,
Yeah.
just like specific encounters with people
It's really
or
just what
things that
happens,
happened.
though.
Mm.
Yeah, but like losing hours of time,
Yeah.
nah,
No.
That's whack.
never. Yeah. So let's see. What's the next one? Where are we? 42 minutes. Okay. We'll do two more. I'll go with one that's kind of interesting, but not not.
Bit tame.
And then we'll
Wrap it up with a banger.
yeah, we will.
Bang.
What a banger.
Oh yeah. So I'm just going through the ones here that I have. Let's go.
Skrrr.
Noises over here. Bee
Actually,
noises.
I've got
Yeah.
a couple of short ones that we can do. So
Shard.
Jack
It's you.
Jack and Mary Robinson were what are you two doing?
He was like, short. So I was like, it's
She
him.
called me short.
Yeah.
A fighter.
I mean,
Yeah, he's a child.
boy.
Oh, yeah.
Lower his voice to sound more masculine.
I mean, I was doing Kratos, but okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So Jack and Mary Robinson were UFO researchers,
Mhm.
and they were
So already sketchy stuff. Like, so do all these people have like links to like? I mean, besides the last story that we had, that was just like he happened to be an encounter. But like, do all these other ones like they're already involved with UFOs?
It's. I mean, obviously, the Men in Black do appear after encounters.
Yeah.
But
I'm saying,
also, also it's when people start to look too deeply into things.
okay,
they-
that
is
but
when
that
they
makes more
tend to
sense. Because I was like, there's a lot of
show up.
bias when they're already like involved. Because I feel like as soon as you open yourself up to that sort of word, like
You're
things
gonna be
start
biased.
happening just because you kind of
You're also just gonna see things that you usually wouldn't see.
yeah.
Yeah, but these guys, I don't think they were researching any particular incident.
Oh yeah.
They were just kind of doing general, UFO research.
Yeah.
And as they got more into it, they started to experience just these strange events. Like they would come home and find that their stuff had been rummaged through.
Mm.
Like someone had been searching through their house, and like particularly their files on UFOs.
Damn.
Like it was obvious that someone had been going through them,
Yeah.
reading them. And Mary started to notice a man in a black suit and hat, like standing across the road, staring up at their apartment.
Oh,
Ah.
Yeah, and
yikes.
one of her friends actually, after she told him about it, he came over and took a picture of this guy,
Wow.
this man in black.
Okay.
And I'll save it so we can put it on social. But yeah, it's like the Man in Black photo,
The,
and it's
the singular.
yeah, it's kind of innocuous. It's just a guy in a suit and hat like standing in a doorway.
Oh, yeah,
He's
yeah.
kind of just chilling.
Yeah,
For a second, I was like, I don't see anything, but yeah.
but yeah, that's supposedly one of the Men in Black.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, so there's that one, and then there's one involving Dan
That
Aykroyd.
actually, sorry, that just cracks me up. I just thought about it now. Oh, sorry, I just completely busted that moment. But I just thought about it now. Like, you know, people nowadays taking like subtle photos on their phone. That guy must have busted out like a full-on camera.
Yeah,
Tripod and everything, just like.
yeah.
right.
I mean, we're talking.
He's like, right, stay there, mate.
was
Yep.
this?
Because we just like, oh yeah, he took a photo of this guy across the street. It just made me laugh all of a sudden. Because I was just like, it's not like he's just quickly whipped out his cell phone and was like, he's busted out a full camera that obviously had like flash and things on it to develop the film. And just taking a photo of this guy. What if it was just some random guy and he's like, wait, mate, the hell, like, what are you
Take a photo of
doing?
me.
Like, there's no way to be subtle about that.
Yeah, that's just.
Yeah.
Anyway,
This
back
guy
on topic.
decided to stay there.
Yes, that
Yeah, yeah.
was 1968, I think, that happened.
Yeah, but I mean,
Um,
when were digital cameras made? Like, way after that, wasn't it?
Digital cameras, that would have been
Maybe
2000s.
Yeah. So
21st
yeah, they
century
still
at
had
least,
film cameras, so
Yeah.
like flash and developing and all
Yeah.
sorts of good shit.
I think their friend was a photographer, so
Yeah.
yeah. Let me just double check.
Photographer. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Dude
but
had
anyway.
a camera. I mean, people had cameras back then, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, got a picture, and yeah, that's it. So yeah, this one involves Dan Aykroyd
Dan Aykroyd. You're.
of Ghostbusters fame.
Oh.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Now, Aykroyd is like super into paranormal stuff.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember which
You're looking
one.
at me blankly.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't remember which one.
No, the
He,
first one. He's
I don't remember which one he is.
oh, what's his name?
Dan,
Got-
my boy.
Dan the man.
Dan
Obviously, it's
Aykroyd.
let's see, you got
Done.
Egon.
Ah, yes, he's that man, right?
and-
Danny boy. Who is
Oh.
he?
That guy.
I cannot,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I cannot
Yeah.
remember the character's name. I cannot
I don't think it
remember.
really matters. We know who he is, I guess.
Yeah, but
Uh,
Wait, so this story involves him?
yes, yeah,
Oh.
it's not a very in-depth story. Basically he was supposed to have a TV show
Yeah.
about paranormal stuff, right? I don't know if it was like a talk show or a
Yeah.
one of those research style documentary kind of shows, but yeah, he was taping the show. I guess it must have been the first episode, and he stepped outside during a break to take a phone call. It's not really important, but it was from Britney Spears. She was asking him to appear on Saturday Night Live with her.
Yeah.
not very important from Britney Spears.
Well, it's not really important to the story, but they're celebrities. They
See,
talk
but
to
that's
each
what
other.
makes me think that this account's fake, is they add unnecessary details. It's like he stepped outside to take a phone call from Britney Spears. It's like,
he was probably just name dropping.
Yeah.
Like Dan Aykroyd is
Yeah.
not really in the public consciousness
Yeah, true.
these days. I think this must have been in the night. Wait, when is
Yeah, it would have
Britney
been.
Spears? Late 90s, early 2000s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have been 90s, yeah. And she's
She-
only...
I keep forgetting how young she is.
Yeah, I think she was only born, what, like 83 or
Yeah,
something?
she's like mid to
Maybe.
late 30s at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep
Really?
thinking she's like 40 something. Yeah,
Fucking hell.
yeah, I don't know. But yeah, he stepped out of the studio to take this phone call and noticed a black Ford parked across the street, and apparently a tall man stepped out of the car and stared him down. And obviously that made him uncomfortable, so he turned away for a moment.
She's 39.
And hey,
She's 39.
hey,
She is 39.
oh right,
Britney
right,
Spears.
right. Yeah,
Spears.
yeah, she's like super young.
Yeah. But yeah, stepped
Surprising.
outside. Yes.
Yep. Dude stared him down. Obviously he looked away because
Yeah.
that's kind of uncomfortable.
Mm.
And when he looked back, the man and the car were gone.
Ah,
Yeah. I guess he didn't hear any engine
Yeah.
or anything. They were just gone. There was a terrible snap. Gone. There we go.
Boy
Um,
just threw the
very
car
nice.
into reverse and was like...
It just,
he's actually just gone back. He's crashed into like 3 cars.
no, he just
Dan Aykroyd's like, oh, I didn't see anything.
just puts it in neutral and rolls backwards down the hill silently.
Oh my god.
Oh, that'd be great. But yeah, after he finished his phone call, he went back inside and the producers told him, "Show's been cancelled. We're done. We're stopping production immediately."
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
He's just like bragging to Brittany on the phone, like, yeah, I'm taping this new show. Walks inside and he's been sacked.
Yeah, like,
I don't
not
know.
one, bruv.
I mean, it's certainly one hell of a coincidence.
No.
Yeah.
You know.
I've definitely heard things about Dan Aykroyd. I'm like,
I mean,
he's a bit odd.
I wish I was around for that phone call. He's just on the phone to Brittany, like, yo, I saw a strange
one
man outside. Like,
Was
I
he
mean,
the one
he
with
does
the-
believe that he got sucked off by a ghost. So
Okay.
wait, genuinely?
yeah, do you remember that scene in the first film where his character is implied to get sucked off by a ghost?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Apparently,
remember.
apparently that like stemmed from an actual encounter that he supposedly had.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Dan Aykroyd's an interesting
Is he the
guy.
one?
He's the
This-
one who's been trying for decades to get Ghostbusters, like
Revamped.
back into the public. Like,
and then
get-
they
like,
do
get the-
revamp it,
get a
and he
series
wasn't
off the
in
ground
it.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he has
Well,
been wanting
there
to
is
do.
a movie coming out now.
Yes, there is, and it looks quite good. But yeah, Dan Aykroyd has
Yeah, but
been
is he
wanting
in it?
to like do Ghostbusters 3 for decades.
Was he the? There's a JonTron video,
Okay.
and it's on fucking some like crystal skull quadrupled fucking distilled vodka. And I think it's Dan Aykroyd. It
Oh, we
might
should
not
talk
be. I
about
might
crystal
talking
skulls.
out my ass, but it's like spiritualist vodka whiskey.
That's the
shit.
thing, though. A lot of these celebrities are just on so much shit that they're just like, yo, I've had this big epiphany. I saw this, I saw that, and you're like,
I don't know. I mean,
Celebrities go through a lot.
Aykroyd's a
Yes.
bit.
It is.
He's a bit
Crystal
weird,
Head
but-
vodka.
Oh my god.
With Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah, I mean he's a weird dude, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's certainly an interesting story.
Yeah, that didn't even have much reference. Like, that talked more about Britney Spears and the focus on Britney Spears and the guy in the car. Like, he's just like, yo, I was on the phone to Britney Spears. I think I saw a man in black that's kind of part of the government.
I didn't really dwell on it. That was you guys taking that.
I know,
moment.
like, because that part
I mean,
that part stands out so much to me more than like seeing the guy in the car.
I mean, they're celebrities. They talk to each other. You know?
Yeah, but then you can just be like, I stepped outside to take a phone call. There's no need to be like, it was Britney.
I mean,
Spears.
again, he's
Brittany,
he's
talk
just,
to me, baby.
he's just name dropping. You know.
Yeah.
I got clout, my dude.
I mean, yeah,
Reality,
the-
then she's like 16.
I mean, yeah, the phone call doesn't matter. You know, it's
Yeah.
just, it's just a phone call. But it's Britney Spears. It's not important, but you're gonna mention it. You know.
Like I said, in reality, she's like 16 on the phone.
I mean, she probably would have been early 20s at that point.
Yeah.
I guess. So yeah, this must have been like mid 2000s. Yeah.
But yeah, so you saw
But yeah.
the guy left, and then the show got cancelled. Is that
Pretty
it?
much.
Damn.
A show about the paranormal.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry, I'm still
Interesting.
reading about Crystal Head vodka.
Oh my god.
It's just
Alright.
funny.
Okay. Well,
Alcoholic.
Hey?
He's an alcoholic.
No, it's just funny because
it's
it's just cursed.
yeah. He's got issues.
Yeah.
Fucking weirdo.
So, wrapping up with the big encounter.
The
Like
big
this is
boy.
the
Big
one
boy.
that this is the one that everyone talks about. Like whenever you like read or see something about the Men in Black, this is the encounter that comes up.
I
just
am
because
eager
it's-
to learn.
Hey?
I said I'm eager to learn.
Yes. Just because it's so weird, and it's like this has pretty much all of the details about the Men in Black. You right over there?
I lost my pillow
Oh my
thing. It came undone and it scared me.
But yeah, a lot of the details that appear in some of the weirder accounts of Men in Black, like, are all in this encounter. Like this is
Okay.
great stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Great stuff.
good job. So
Good job.
we are joining 58-year-old Dr. Herbert Hopkins
Mm.
in September 1976. He was a doctor and hypnotist.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
That's a good start.
no, like a legit hypnotist.
Yeah.
Like a hypnosis therapist.
Yeah.
You know. And pursuant to that, he was working as a consultant on an alleged UFO abduction case in Maine, I believe. Yes, in Maine.
Oh, you did speak about that before, how they used hypnosis to like bring up details.
Yes.
Previously, yeah.
Yeah, because it
I
like
remember
taps
that.
into the like brings the subconscious to the surface. You know, it's something you're
Like repressed memories
consciously
and shit.
suppressing. Yeah, might come out without
Very
that.
neato.
So, his wife and kid had kids, I think. So the rest of his family had gone out somewhere, and he was home alone one evening, and he got a phone call from a guy who identified himself as the vice president of the New Jersey UFO Research Organization. And I don't know if that actually exists. Give me a
Very
second.
specific one.
New Jersey UFO.
Well, it already sounds more credible because he is,
Yes,
something that actually
he's an
occurred
actual
during
professional.
UFO things. UFO
Um,
abductions.
Yeah, so
Supposed.
I don't think this organization actually exists.
Ah,
So that's a good start.
So that's something. He probably wouldn't have known it at the time. And also, this guy is claiming to be from a New Jersey organization. Dr. Hopkins is in Maine, which I suppose isn't that far, but
yeah.
like yeah. This guy identified himself as the vice president of this organization and asked if he might visit Dr. Hopkins that evening to discuss certain details of the case that he was working on.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Hopkins agreed. Okay. He didn't have any reason not to.
Yeah.
Went to the back door to switch on the porch lights, but when he got there, there was a man already climbing the steps up to his front door.
Oh.
Did he know what the guy looked like?
Hey?
He knew what the other professor looked like, right?
I don't think so.
I would doubt
No,
it.
because they were just talking on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So he
doubt.
must have assumed, like, this is
And
the man.
obviously, the guy like identified who he
Yeah.
was. So
Yeah.
I guess this was the first time they'd spoken to each other. So yeah,
Right.
no idea what this guy looks like. He didn't see a car. Obviously he couldn't have gotten to the house that quickly.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Yeah,
Um,
Lord.
Yeah. So this guy who Hopkins, led into the house, he was dressed in a black suit with a black hat, tie, and shoes, and a white shirt. So classic Men in Black look.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hopkins commented that he looked like an undertaker.
Ah.
Not to the guy, but later on.
Yeah.
Like that was like the image association that he had
Yeah.
with that outfit. Apparently his clothes were immaculate.
Very
And
specific.
when he took off his hat, he was completely hairless.
Oh.
So not just hair, but like eyebrows and eyelashes and
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh.
Like nothing.
Oh, that's
Tap
kind
my
of.
microphone there. Sorry.
That is not great.
Yeah.
Ooh.
His skin was white, like dead white,
Yeah.
and his lips were bright red.
That is not a great image.
Yeah. And he was also wearing grey suede gloves. And
Suede.
at some point during their conversation, he kind of like brushed his lips somehow with the gloves, and the lipstick came away. So he was wearing
Okay,
lipstick.
he was wearing lipstick.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Doesn't say what color his lips was because obviously there was still lipstick on his lips, but it was smeared and the gloves were stained with lipstick. And
Interesting.
Hopkins at the time didn't he didn't register the fact that the guy looked weird.
Yeah.
It was only afterwards that he realized, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
That's fair.
Yeah, but this is weird. This guy, this man in black, he told Dr. Hopkins, he basically said, "You have 2 coins in your shirt pocket." And he's like, yeah, I do. And he asked him to bring out one of the coins, which was a copper penny. Okay. And he told him to put the coin in his hand, right? And then, and to watch it. And the coin first turned silver, and then started to move in and out of focus,
Hey.
right? And then it just vanished. And the guy said to him, "Neither you nor anyone else on this planet will ever see that coin again." Sorry, no, not planet. Neither you nor anyone else on this plane will ever see that coin again. Yeah.
He's just a magician doing a magic.
Yeah.
Well, there's...
That's a very ominous statement.
And he did this to a hypnotist.
Yeah, so other accounts also claim that the guy followed this up by asking whether Hopkins was familiar with Barney Hill, who I've mentioned. He and his wife Betty were one of the they're like the abduction case in UFO circles. And Hopkins said, "Yep, I've heard of this guy. Didn't he die not long ago? Barney Hill died of a cerebral hemorrhage,
Mm.
Right.
so brain stuff." And the guy, the man in black, said to him, like, "Yep, he did die recently. Barney didn't have a heart, just like you no longer have a coin."
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
weird.
Yeah, no, that is a threat and a half right there.
Yeah, so
Jesus.
implying that he or one of his colleagues removed Barney Hill's heart and killed him
That is
and
something.
altered the death reports.
Oh.
Yeah,
Especially when
Freaky,
he's like,
right?
just like you don't have a coin. It's like, I removed it.
yeah,
That is whack.
yeah. So after that, they talked a little. They talked for a little while on the topic of UFOs, and then Hopkins noticed that this guy was starting to talk slower, and he then got to his feet, kind of unsteadily, and said, "My energy is running low. Must go now. Goodbye." And then, kind of like, he didn't really. I wouldn't say stumbled, but
Yeah.
kind of had a little bit
Staggered.
difficulty walking.
What,
To
like
the door?
Baymax trying to get up the stairs?
Jeez. Yeah, and like slowly went down the steps, and then Hopkins saw a bright light in the driveway, kind of like bluish white, and at the time he assumed that it was just the guy's car,
Yeah.
even though he hadn't had one, when he
Before,
arrived.
yeah.
But he didn't see or hear a car, like he just this light from outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was that afterwards. He was pretty freaked out.
Yeah.
So he said, "I can't work on this case anymore. Sorry, you guys are on your own,"
That's
and
fair.
burned all of his research.
Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty serious then.
But wasn't the other guy coming to his house anyway to talk about it?
No, well, I think the
It's
assumption
like
is,
an alias or something.
I think the assumption is that call was from whoever this man in black was working for.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the Dr. Hopkins account.
I bet it was just a Terminator.
You
that
reckon?
sounds like
Yeah.
goes into driveway, time travels for it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So reflecting on this account, there's a lot of details there that occur in other accounts of the Men in Black. The hairless features, the
Yeah.
white skin.
Yeah.
They're often said to have Asiatic features, so like narrow eyes,
Mm.
high cheekbones. Sometimes they appear to have hair, but it seems like it's like attached to the hat and not the head.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there's accounts of them being like weirdly shaped, like still human, but like unnaturally thin
Yeah,
or
yeah.
large or like just out of proportion
Yeah.
somehow. And some people also report them speaking almost mechanically, or like moving mechanically. So like, yeah,
So they're
weird,
just
right?
Giant
Cyborgs.
AIs. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why obviously we have no idea what the Men in Black are or who they are. So there's theories,
Mm.
right? Some people believe that they are they're human, that they work for government agencies, FBI, CIA, maybe Majestic 12. Don't know.
I mean,
And
there's
we can get into Majestic 12 in a future
Yeah.
episode. That'll be super interesting.
It's possible that there's like a mix between like AIs and humans and whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the other theories is that they are automatons, androids created by aliens to go and visit these people and get them to stop looking into stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So they can take over.
Yeah, there's theories that they are aliens themselves.
The aliens are like, yo, we gotta cover our tracks, man.
Yeah, and like genetically modified aliens to look
Yeah.
more human, but obviously they're not
Failed.
quite right.
Yeah.
And like in all accounts, they wear outdated clothing, like 40s style suits kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the Men in Black. Like I said, not really a lot to go on.
Yeah.
But certainly interesting.
Yeah.
It's quite an unnerving thing, I guess. If you ever visited
Yeah,
by something like that.
it's-
like,
Yeah, it's just kind of weird, really.
I mean, that the whole like phenomenon, just someone showing up to your house and like knowing things is just so
yeah,
unsettling.
that's the thing. I
Yeah.
think that's the most disturbing thing about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, is the fact that these guys know
it's like
so
having a
much.
stalker or something.
Yeah. Do you know
Yeah.
what's more unsettling? The fact that every single one of them let them in was like, oh yeah, okay, come on in. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's possible that they have some kind, because in some accounts they communicate telepathically with these
well,
people.
yeah.
It's possible that they they're influencing them somewhat to
True.
do as they say or trust them.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just
Yeah, no,
weird.
if that was me, if someone showed up to my front door and was like, Genevieve, I'd be like, nah, lock that shit, run.
Oh dear.
Panic.
Yeah. I'm not home anymore. This is not my place of residence.
Yeah.
Do not live here. I
Yeah.
don't know any Genevieve. Oh, that'd
Oh,
be
man.
scary.
Bro,
Right.
yeah, no. I'm
Yeah.
not ready
so
for that.
that's the Men in Black.
Yeah, not really much on that, but
But it was an
Very
interesting
intriguing.
topic.
Yeah. I mean, we got an episode out of it, so I'll
yeah.
I'll choose something with a bit more meat on its bones next time.
pizzazz.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, that's what I need to do. I need to do better research, honestly.
I have
I'm so
like
bad.
I have a list of over a year's worth of topics, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
You'll
it's
be
just,
right.
just like deciding what to do, like what I have time for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But yeah, next week is my week.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know what I'm doing. I still want to do the short horror stories just because I think they're so funny.
Mm.
But
I mean, we could do a creepypasta episode.
Creepy
hell yeah.
pasta man.
Should I leave that for Conall? I don't know.
I don't know. Do you want it done right or not?
That is true. That is true.
Hmm.
Yeah, my SCP episode wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
That was
Alright.
alright. That was because that was more like actual information that was really easy to get.
Yeah.
But when it's
I
like
might do
hard information,
creepypastas.
it's like
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I
this
could do a
was
mix.
this was a beast to put together.
oh, yeah.
like-
Oh, maybe I should do a guess whether it's a Reddit story or a creepypasta.
I mean,
That could be good.
I'm trying to think about that.
Yeah, yeah. It took me a second. Yeah.
Like, is it an actual
Story.
official
or, yeah,
story
yeah,
from
yeah,
creepypasta, or
Or
just
a
something that
fictional one, yeah.
just
Yeah,
found
you
something from
could.
Reddit?
Yeah, that might work.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll figure out I'll fine tune it a little bit, and we'll get back to you. Maybe that's what I'll do next week. I won't promise anything
Perhaps.
because
Mhm.
I mean, if you guys have seen my actual channel at the moment, I keep being like, this is gonna be next week's video. I'm like, psych, I
No.
ran out of time.
Yeah,
Yep.
Chief.
Yeah, that's about how it goes.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
thank
Cool.
you, Lee, for this episode.
You are most welcome.
Mm.
Right, so yeah, let's wrap this up. You can find this podcast on Twitter and Instagram at ZeroFunction You can find Jen on YouTube at I am Genevieve.
Yes.
That's her channel. You're doing pretty well at the moment, eh?
Yeah, relatively. We're
Pretty
getting there. We're
decent.
getting there.
I
I'm trying to
think-
get 300 subs by March, but
Yeah, I think your most recent video
Okay.
was like blew up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Compared
good.
to
Good.
the others.
I'm happy about it. I'm not complaining. Definitely not complaining. But we got
good.
goals. We're getting there slowly.
Oh, man.
All right, yeah. So
Yeah.
check that out. Conall, you occasionally stream on Twitch.
Yeah, occasionally, and I do have a YouTube channel. It's just Rig. It's pretty
Rig.
simple.
Yes.
Capital R specifically.
Capital R. Yes, and
Same with my Twitch.
Rig
but-
Pigger
I'll
0.
get him to
on
link it
Twitch,
in
yes.
his Instagram
Wait,
because it's so
no,
hard
it's
to
Rig
find
Monkey
channels.
Zero.
Rig Monkey 0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not Rig Pigger.
No, that was an old one, wasn't
That
it?
was my dad's username. in the
That's
past.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. So Rig Monkey 0 on Twitch for you, and I don't do anything because
You exist.
I have a full-time job outside of this.
Yeah.
It takes all of my energy.
Yeah. Well,
It really does.
Twitch and YouTube are more just like a thing I do every so often. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. We will
Make sure to like, subscribe,
yes
follow for more.
do all that good stuff. God, it's hot in here.
Oh yeah,
We need to-
Yep.
it's time to wrap
We'll
up.
be back
Yep.
again with another video next week.
Oh,
Yes.
so
Next Friday,
sweaty.
we upload every Friday.
Yes,
disgusting.
Yeah.
Friday.
We upload every Friday. All right. Peace.
Bye.
Yeah.